I will not be able to, nor will my co-host, Queen Mary Dalba in Massachusetts, be able to say hello to all of you. But Mary, how you feeling about everyone being here?
I'm so excited. This is going to be like an A plus plus night. I
Right?
feel that
What's the
right in my
difference?
heart.
What to you is the difference between A plus and A plus plus?
Well, it's just extra special.
Okay.
It's extra special.
Yeah, it really is. I'm going to put in the chat, and I know the chat will be busy, and there will be people who will be sharing comments with our tellers and others because we will, for the most part, be on mute so that the tellers can tell, right? That's
Mhm.
the only way we're going to do it. In the link, am going to put from time to time the Facebook group in which a lot of the stuff we do here is housed so you can learn about events, workshops, podcasts, whatever it may be. But also put a link to Venmo and PayPal. This is 100% free. If you want to help out, there are some production costs. That would be wonderful now or during the break or after. All right. If I put it in a bunch, I'm not poking you to do it. I'm just making sure you can see it because the chat gets really, really busy. Cool. You all know Queen Mary, or many of you do. Queen Mary, where are you this evening?
I'm in still in Boston, Massachusetts.
I thought you were in Waltham.
Malden,
Malden.
Malden. Yeah,
Hmm.
but people don't know Malden; they know Boston. So I always say Boston.
Got you. All
Yeah.
right. And I am in Chapel Hill, North
Yeah.
Carolina. We've got tellers from all the time zones, uh,
Awesome.
several different countries. And so it's exciting. And at the end of this evening, we are going to have a Grand Slam champion.
Yes, we will.
Mary, how do you think our tellers are feeling right now?
Well, we know that Erin's feeling excited,
Yep.
so that we know that's on the list. I
Yep.
think we also have nervous and kind of judging us probably as hosts. That's probably
You
happening.
think people might be judging us a little bit as hosts
Yeah,
right now?
yeah, I do, but that's okay. I'm used to that. So all kinds of feelings are rushing through their blood right now. I know that.
Yeah. A
Mm,
lot of emotions.
a lot of emotions.
This is supposed to be fun, but let's face it, some of them might be a little nervous, excited.
Hmm.
Some of them might be unmuted and making weird sounds. Is that you, Mary?
That's not me, darling.
Who is that? All right, let us remind everybody, because we can't find all of you. With love, we say, please mute yourself.
Yes,
Who
darling.
wants to be shut down, Mary?
I'm telling
Who
you.
wants to be silenced? But for the next 90 plus minutes, stay on mute.
Yeah.
And then if you want to hang out after, well, then you can unmute. And we're going to talk and we're going to ask questions and we're going to cavort. Can I say that word tonight? Cavort?
I think that's a good word.
I don't use it very often.
Mhm.
Now, some of you know that we had a season 1 with 4 slams and a grand slam. And this is season 2, and we've had 4 slams and a grand slam. This is it. You're at the grand slam. And it's getting bigger and better, which is great. Quality of the story is going up. A number of people involved in tellers and audience is going up. So that's good. Mary, right now, I'm at the point where I'm saying to myself, dude, stop talking. I'm about there.
We're
I'm
almost
about 20 seconds away of realizing you got to shut up, Sean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because everybody's wondering who's going first.
Exactly. And
Oh,
what I'm going to do here is I have a hat. It's from Peru. And some of you know this, that the names are in the hat. We have, assuming Richard and Dan are here,
they are. I saw our friends, Richard and Dan.
21 tellers. And the format is round 1, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4. We're going 5 in the middle, like a hump.
Like it.
What that means for you, the audience, I'm going to pick a name. They are going to unmute themselves and tell a 99-second story. That's going to happen 4 or 5 times. At the end of those 4 or 5 tellers, Mary is going to summarize those stories for you. Now, I suggest in the meantime, you don't wait for that. You give it some thought. Maybe you have a little system. You write something down, who your favorite is. After that, I'm going to put a poll up with the person's name, 1 or 2 words to remind you of what the story is about. And then you're going to vote. Each section's winner is going to move on to the second round. Me and Mary also have 1 extra vote. So in other words, minimum of 5, maximum of 7 tellers will be in the second round. It will make more sense as we move on. Mary and I will remind you of what to do and how to do it.
Of course.
The main thing is here, these are supposed to be stories. They're supposed to be true stories. They're supposed to be personal stories. And they're supposed to be stories that you're not reading. Okay? So what that means is if you feel like someone's not telling a true story or a personal story, or they are not, if they're not just telling it and maybe they're reading it, you get to decide if you want to put that person through or not. I want to encourage you to put through people who are telling true personal stories without notes. The only other way they are disqualified, and this actually is really the only way, isn't it, Mary?
It is.
Formal technical disqualification is if they go over time. Now, the tellers will see this at 80 seconds. You see what I did there, Mary?
I did see it.
I made a big clear 8 and 0. Why?
Because you want to let them know. You're coming to the end, y'all. Wrap it up.
How many seconds do they have at this point?
19 more.
Exactly. Now, if you go over and they're out, we're not even going to summarize the story and their name won't be on the poll. So don't sweat it. Right? We've only had to do that a couple of times.
We have.
I don't enjoy it.
I don't either.
I don't think I have anything else to say, Mary. We are recording. We're Facebook Living. Our tellers are here. Some of them are like pacing. Caged animals ready to go.
7-Eleven, my friends. It's
7-Eleven is a good time to start.
Time.
Let us do this. All right. We've got 21 names in the Peruvian hat. This is round 1, section 1, teller 1. Let us do this. Amazing. I was looking at him. Jeremy,
Hey.
Mad Dog, Kredlo. You all as tellers know that you need to unmute yourselves when I call your name. I want you to take your time. And when you start, I'll start.
No one's ever said that I look like Jesus. Unlike my Uncle Briane, who looked exactly like him, or at least he looked exactly like the whitewashed version of Jesus hanging from the crucifix in my grandma Ida's front room. Maybe that resemblance was why he was my grandma's favorite child. Because I never looked like Jesus, it came as a surprise to me when I went to visit my grandma and she called me Briane. I corrected her gently when I realized that it was because of her Alzheimer's. But it happened the next time, and the next. Each time I'd explain that I was her grandson, Jeremy, and she would look confused for a minute or so, and then everything would fall into place. She would hug me and say she was glad to see me. But I could see the hurt and disappointment in her eyes that I wasn't her beloved son. And then Briane disappeared, lost in his schizophrenia, and he was gone for a year, and another year, and another. And my grandma Ida's memory and her health got worse and worse. The last time I visited her, she looked up at me with a big smile on her face. Briane, my son. And I reached in and hugged her. I love you, Mom. Boom.
Boom. Now, for some of you that are new to this, boom is how we typically end stories, but it is not required. Tellers by no, Mary, I don't believe tellers are disqualified if they don't say boom, right? We don't have that rule.
No, we're not that bad. Not yet.
That would be rude and mean.
Right.
Necessary. We'll get there. Hey, we got a lot of tellers and a lot of stories, and thank you, Jeremy, for starting us off. As always, solid. Let's just keep rolling. We got a lot of stories.
Good.
Teller number 2, live from Florida, Walt.
Okay. All right, let me tell you about the time that I got paddled for not kissing a girl. That's right, not kissing a girl. I was in the 8th grade and we were studying poetry. Every week we got a new poem. These were long poems, Wordsworth, Longfellow, Poe. And we would have to learn these for extra credit. If we could say them on Friday, we would get extra credit. And there was this little red-haired girl. She was freckle-faced, kind of skinny, kind of shy. I didn't think she was too bright, and I teased her all the time. And I told her if she could learn the next poem and say it out and say it to the class, I'd kiss her. And the word got out, and the whole class knew, and the teacher knew. And Friday came around, and Lois got up there, and she went right through that poem. It was Longfellow's Psalm of Life, and she said every word of it. And the class cheered, and much to my chagrin, they all looked at me. And then Mr. Dacus, our teacher, looked at me and he said, "Are you going to kiss her, boy?" I said, No, I don't want to kiss her. I want to kiss her. He pulled out a paddle and said, "I got to learn you, teach you to learn keep your word. If you don't kiss her, 3 licks." I said, "I'll take the licks." And I did. And years after that, it bothered me that I had taken those licks and I had probably embarrassed Lois because I didn't want to kiss her. And I found her on Facebook, and she's a beautiful redhead. And I said, "Lois, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to that back then. I should have kissed you." She said, "That's all right. I don't care." I got a lot of friends out of that, and you got what you deserved. Boom.
Boom. Thank you, Walt. Walt is in Florida.
Yeah.
Jeremy's in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going coast to coast,
We are.
back and forth, up and down,
Mhm.
all around.
Worldwide, my friend. Worldwide.
It's essentially a worldwide thing, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Number 3. You know what, Mary? I'm pulling these names out, and I'm like, everybody's so good at this. But it makes sense. It's a grand slam, right?
Grand Slam. Oh, yeah.
Number 3, Mary's writing down information so she can summarize these for you. Jeff Stein, live from Chicago area, Illinois.
Growing up, my grandmother absolutely loved culture, and she was very much a part of the arts. She went to Northwestern and got a fine arts degree and graduated with it. That meant classical music, opera, and ballet. At 12 years old, we're going to do Christmas Eve together, and she insists we are going to the Fontainebleau, this big showroom, for prime rib and Carmen. Worse, she makes me wear a skirt and a tie. So I'm being dragged along to this thing, the last place I want to go. So I figure I better just eat a whole bunch of prime rib. Maybe I can get sick or something. No such luck. I grit, I bear it. Here comes 2 to 3 hours of Carmen. Oh my God, this is going to be hell. The music starts, it's beautiful sets, everything is incredible. Out walks Carmen, topless. I like opera. Boom.
Okay, Jeff startled me. I didn't even get the 80 seconds up there. He just went right in for the boom. Post-opera, live from Chicago, Illinois. Mary, we've had three tellers in 3 time zones.
Yes. Look at this.
Here at the 99-second story Grand Slam 2.
Do.
Those of you that speak French understood that, I am sure. Mary, what are you drinking this evening?
I have a Dunkin' Donuts iced tea.
Is that right?
That is.
Okay. That's your
Yeah.
go-to? Is that your
I pulled
go-to?
the big guns tonight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Iced tea? Okay.
Iced tea.
I love that your background is a little dark. Mine usually dark, but yours is dark tonight.
Good
And I like it.
You like what, darling?
Hang on, let's just mute people. If your name's not Mary or Sean, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Oh.
You know, people gonna get a little silly sometimes. No, I was just saying behind you is dark and I like it. I like it. Your face is well lit. Your
Thank you.
smile is
Let's
very
start.
smiley.
Yes. My mother paid a lot for the smile, Sean. She'll
Yes.
be happy to hear that.
Our 4th of 4 storytellers in section 1. Here we go. Live. See, here we go. We're going north of the border. Briane, break a leg, Briane.
I'm standing on the penthouse balcony of my Uncle Sid, looking at a golden sunset, and I know it's the time. I'm going to tell her how I feel. My life changed drastically when I was 14 years old. My best friend, the little girl I babysat for, and my father all died. And I closed off from everyone. I was heartbroken. It's 2 years later. I'm working at a camp for underprivileged kids, and I meet Patricia. And over the summer, finally, I find somebody I want to be involved with. And I invite her out. And she says yes to going to dinner, but first we're going to see the sunset. And there we are on the balcony. And I turn to her and I say, nothing. Coward. The sun sets. We go back to the elevator, the doors close, and we embrace. And we kiss for 27 floors, the greatest kiss of my life and still top 3. We get to the lobby. We decide to call it a night. I escort her home. I'm not sure what I should do next, but I find out 3 days later because I get the letter. I open it up. Dear Brian, I can't see you anymore. I have a boyfriend. Goodbye, Patricia. I sink into the couch. It's a year later. I'm back at the camp and I meet Sherry. And I find I can talk to her. I find I want to go out with her. And we become boyfriend and girlfriend for a year and a half. And I realize I should thank Patricia because had she not broken my heart, it never would have been open up again. Boom.
There it is.
Boom.
Thank you, Brian. Wow. What a way to start this. So we had, you're going to, Mary, everybody was under time, which is a great way to start it. I don't want to be the person to have to tell anybody that they're disqualified for going over time, right?
Right. I usually make you do that. So it's really all on your shoulders, Sean.
Are you okay with me transitioning that responsibility to you for the next hour?
I'll take it on.
Fortunately, for this first section, we don't need to do that. So while Mary is going to read summaries of each teller to you, the audience, I am going to simultaneously make a poll, then put it up, and everybody here except for me and Mary, 98 people, I hope, will vote. Mary, whenever you're ready.
I'm ready. So Jeremy became Brian for a little while to make Grandma Ida happy in her last days. Walt got paddled and learned a lesson about keeping his word because he didn't kiss a girl. Jeff learned to love opera because of Topless Carmen. And Brian may have had his heart broken by Patricia, but Sherry opened his heart up again to love.
We had Patricia and Sherry.
Yes.
All right. I am writing a couple of things for people I may not spell these correctly. Information for people so that they can see it and get an additional reminder. And I've done as best I can. So section 1, Jeremy, Walt, Jeff, Brian, right?
Yeah. It's a strong first group.
Strong first group. And we will have a winner in a moment. I'm going to launch the poll. But of course, Mary, am I going to announce the winner right now?
No, of course not.
No, of course
don't do that. That's not how we roll.
Not how we roll.
We leave it in suspense for everyone. We make it.
Jeremy, and let us launch. Vote away.
Vote.
We'll give them at least we'll give them a minute.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think that's good.
It's already super close.
I was going to say there's votes coming in hot and heavy. Look at this. Wow.
I love watching the votes come in and then you can see the little, you know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
Now, Mary, you've got to pay attention a lot because, as do I, we've got that extra vote, right?
Right.
We may or may not use that to put a 6th and or 7th voter through. 83 of 98 people are voting. So up to 15 more people, and let's give it another 20 seconds. It could make a difference.
It could. It is close, y'all.
It's very close.
Yes.
And thank you to our first 4 tellers. It's never easy being first.
No.
Right?
It's true. It's not. But strong group, I'm telling you.
Yep. All the groups are going to be strong. All the
they are
going to be strong.
I know who's on the list. They're amazing. So.
And tellers, check out the chat. You'll have a lot of love coming your way. Let's give it another, what do you say, Mary? 10 seconds? I think this one's done.
I do too.
All right. We are going to close it in 3, 2, 1, and ending poll. Boom. Great job, y'all. Right?
Yes.
4 tellers, 4 stories, 99 seconds or less. True, personal, no notes, really effing good. Let's move on. Got a lot of tellers.
Round
Got a
two.
lot of stories.
Let's do it.
Not round two.
Heat two.
We got to call it a heat or a section.
Okay.
I don't like the word heat. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. So
So
section.
I'll say section.
All right. Executive decision.
I don't know why the word makes me feel uncomfortable.
You don't like it.
It's like moist. It's like moist.
Oh, it's that. Well,
teller one of heat / section 2 up in Massachusetts. Zach Stewart.
My dad tells me to get in the car. We are getting lunch. We have to talk. I'm 13 and I'm shitting my pants. My dad is 6'2", broad-shouldered, a master chief in the Navy. We talked when I needed help with the video game or when we were going to watch NCIS. We didn't talk about heavy shit. We kept it light. What was he going to talk to me about? Did my mom tell him about the time she caught me dancing to Fergalicious alone in my room? Does he know about my internet search history? I'm starting to freak out. As we sit down for lunch, my dad cracks a joke about my mom, and I immediately am put at ease. It's something we've always bonded over, and I think he knows I'm a little nervous. And then he says, "Your mom's been asking why you aren't into sports." Oh, of course, this is what we were going to talk about. Why was I so stupid to not think this was the most obvious thing? So as I start to stammer out an excuse, he cuts me off. He says, "I don't care if you're into Pokemon or comic books or video games for the rest of your life. I'll get into that because you're my son and I love you." My dad passed away a year later. I never had the time to come out to him, but I'm so grateful for that lunch because I know that he will always be my dad and that he will always love me. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach. Mary, what's interesting here is I see a trend of sorts almost. And that trend is people are actually trending downward in the length of their stories.
Wow.
They're going down a little bit. They're like, all right, well, if I could do it in 99, maybe I'll do it in like 90, 88. See if that happens moving forward.
Yeah. I mean,
makes our job a little easier.
It does. They want to make sure that they're in. So they're mastering that 90.
I know. I think we might have been so like, don't go over that they're like,
yeah, can't do it. I get
Number
it.
2, section 2. She is in the Midwest or Colorado, I believe. Let me find her. Johanna Walker. Unmute yourself and take your time.
My 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Blake, wore thick makeup that was caked on her face. The story went that when she scratched her cheek, she would peel away the makeup and you could see that actually she was a witch. She taught from her desk. She never stood up from her desk, and she did not care one iota about the children. One day, I'm standing at my locker, and Derek Aguillard and Jacques Clark walk up to me, and Derek holds his hand out to me, and he says, "Johanna, Jacques Clark, he loves you. He wants to marry you." And I'm petrified. I don't know what to do. Oh, he opens his hand, he opens his palm, and there's this big fat ring in his hand. And I don't know what to do. I know I'm too young to be married, so I just stand there and freeze. And then I run into the classroom, and I tell Mrs. Blake, "Jacques Clark wants to marry me, and I don't want to marry him." And she doesn't say anything until Jacques Clark walks into the room. Then I start to feel this rumble as she pushes her chair away from the desk. And as she rises from the chair, I start to feel the room shake. I start to feel the building shake. I feel the entire city of Chicago start to shake because Mrs. Blake is standing up. And she plants her hands on the table and she says, "Jacques Clark, school is a time for learning, not for loving." And everybody goes quiet. And I look at Mrs. Blake and I look at Jacques Clark, and I know now that Mrs. Blake has my back. Boom.
Boom. All right. Massachusetts. Thank you, Johanna. Massachusetts, and Colorado. Good states, don't you think? Mostly.
Well, I live in one of them, so I think it's pretty good. And I've visited the other one, and that one's pretty good.
Not
so.
everybody loves where they live, Mary.
No, I know, it's too bad. You should find where you love to live. But that's a whole other night.
Yeah,
Sean.
sure. You should find that true love as well.
Also, I agree.
Ideally.
It wasn't Jacques Clark, according to Johanna. So,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
You know?
Let's move on. Now, normally, for better or worse, I would make a little more small talk here, but we have 21 tellers and 2 rounds, so I'm gonna just keep moving.
Keep going. It's all right. Who wants to listen to us, really?
Not many people.
Not
Live from the great state of Texas. Let me find them. Michael G, where are you?
Right here.
Where's here, sir? Give me a second.
All right, no problem.
There you are.
Right.
All right. Whenever you're ready, Mike, you take your time. Right now, we're having a hard time seeing you.
Camera, you got me?
We can hear you, which is what matters most. I can't see you at all. I see a lot of blurriness.
Yeah.
You want us to come back to you?
No, it says the video is on. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No problem.
there I am. So sorry.
Okay.
So sorry, right here.
Take your time, get yourself settled. No rush at all.
Okay, I'm ready. At 57, I become an expert at fixing children who got left behind. Those who, like me, who were once broken and blue. And I wondered, what good is my master's degree if I can't be the master of me? Now, every family has its skeletons, but our house was built entirely from broken bones. And now I realize that I didn't choose to be a social worker. Social work chose me. When you're little, all you're supposed to know is bonding, good times, love. And why didn't he love us, protect us, instead of being this crooked, shifting shadow? And there aren't enough blankets in the world to hide under when you live with a monster. He will find you. Growing up with a damaged dignity is easy when you spent your childhood on your knees. And you think with my age and education, I would have worked it out by now, but how in the hell can a spirit rise when your head has been trained to stay down? Now, I write, scratching out words as loud as school bus brakes. I write, because the memories that could have been will never be. How can I truly understand what love is when my only lessons in manhood was swallowing his pride? Yeah, I have scars and I will never be the same, but I'm taking back my life so that something as simple as protecting the ones I love is no longer a post-traumatic struggle. I just want to hold my head up again. I want to be free. This is not just a story. This is my life. And I'm so damn tired of being the oldest little boy in the world. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. In Texas, I think Michael might be our only Texan here this evening.
Oh, wow.
At least residing in the state of.
Wow.
Texans think differently, Mary. They do.
They do. Also a place that I visited. I don't know about you, but I visited Texas.
I've been through Texas. I didn't spend a lot of time there, not because it's not a lovely state. It just didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so just remember, Massachusetts, Colorado, Texas. We're all over the map. We're all over the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another great section of tellers. This is our 4th of 4. Just like last time, Mary's going to summarize those that if they didn't go over, we'll let you know. And then we're going to vote again. Next up, live back up north of the border, Erin Rodgers. Take your time, Erin.
Wonderful. Can everyone hear me? Can I get a thumbs up?
Thumbs up.
Fantastic. Just 1 second and I'm going to get started. Okay. It's 2012 and it is definitely my year. It hasn't always been. When I was about 9 years old, I once was left in the forest for 2 hours because we were playing capture the flag, and I kind of wasn't paid attention to by the teachers. Now, when I look back on that, I am super upset that I didn't raise more of a fuss because I didn't get a chance to get famous and meet Oprah or Canada's Oprah, Deanie Petty. I really messed up that chance. But I've put a lot of work in, and I'm starting to make a name for myself in comedy. In fact, I've been featured in Maclean's magazine, the only magazine that every single elderly white relative of mine knows. Even my aunt, who is a nun, they get Maclean's. Only one problem. Him. You see, Aaron Rodgers, the football player, is incredibly famous, and so it's not my time. It's a few weeks ago, and I'm watching one of the many events that I watch online. It's hosted by my favorite drag queen, Ms. Cracker. She's in an amazing makeup, and she's presenting a bunch of jokes. And every time she draws a name out of a hat, the person gets a prize, and she makes a silly joke about their name. Then she reaches out and she pulls out my name. And she blankly looks at the camera and says, Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing funny about that name. She has no idea. The gay people have no idea. I'm with my own people and I'm home. Finally. Boom.
All right. Thank you, Erin. 4 tellers. We're good job, Erin. Tellers, have a look in the chat. You've got a lot of love coming your way.
Competitive but supportive group, this group.
Yeah, everybody's supportive. Everyone's competitive. I need to message Mary one moment here. We may have a question about one of the tellers. And when we're done with that, Mary will read the summaries. I will put a poll up, and we will have our section 2 winner. And there could be wild cards here. That will be determined towards the end of the round, probably after the first round.
Yes, I would agree.
All right, Mary, read out our summaries first, please. All 4.
Okay. All right. So Zach had a conversation that scared him with his dad, but then he realized how much that he loved him. Johanna was not getting married because Mrs. Blake had her back against Jacques Clark. Just say no. Michael said, what's good is my master's degree if I'm not the master of me, and he works with kids and takes care of them and makes sure that he can make a difference in their lives.
Yep.
And Erin got embraced by Miss Cracker about her name and was finally with her people. I love Miss Cracker, by the way.
Don't show any favoritism.
I'm not showing favoritism.
Not allowed.
I'm not showing favoritism. I'm just commenting I love Miss Cracker.
Okay, that's fair. That's not really talking about the story. You're not showing favoritism.
No, I'm talking about the drag queen. She's fabulous.
Talking about the drag queen is not the same.
No.
Fine. Just to be clear, we are going to launch a poll right now. Section 2, Zach, Johanna, Michael, and Erin. Are we ready?
All right.
Let us launch.
Let's do it. Let's get a winner.
We can have up to 98 people voting. Let's get as many as we can. Mary, by the way, as people vote, there are a few people I see on Facebook Live commenting they are upset with us or me. They did not get in. I don't have the great answer for them. This particular Zoom account allows me 100 because we have a lot of tellers. And I'm really happy that everyone who's here is here. I'm sorry we couldn't get everyone in. Next time we'll make some changes, and we will. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
We'll do something. And for those of you, I'm glad you at least get to be on Facebook Live. I know you can't vote. We considered allowing people to vote through Facebook Live, but there was a few reasons why it just wasn't a good idea. So we're just keeping it to the people here in the Zoom room.
That's right.
And you know what we do, Mary, as we move forward with slams, whether they're grand slams or not, is we tweak.
That's what we do.
We tweak.
We tweak.
Let's give it another 20 seconds. We've got about 10 people that could vote. I think this poll is about to come to a close. It's real close.
It is close.
Real close. Mary, I'm going to let you call it when you think it's done.
I'm going to say we're done. No one's, no. Oh, there we got one.
I don't think anyone can come back. Okay.
Got it.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Now, just remember, this is a reminder to our audience, and this does not apply to anybody who's told a story thus far. Truly, true stories, personal stories, no notes.
No notes.
You might be wondering why. There's reasons for that. I have no ethical issues with notes. It's just an agreement we've sort of made collectively that that's how we're going to do it. So, and I don't think anybody has done that. I'm not trying to call anybody out. I do want to let our audience know.
Raptor score.
Vote. Everybody who's not named Sean or Queen Mary, please mute yourself, especially if your name's Brian. Just playing, Brian. Zoom is so funny that way, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Oh, there it is. Couldn't find you. Storytellers, once you tell a story, mute yourselves. Not because we don't want to hear your voice. It just makes the night go a little smoother.
That's right.
And you don't want that random thing happening and you think you're muted.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we find out something that you don't want us to know.
No.
I am muted.
No, you're good, Brian. All good. I know the rules in Canada are different. Just, and why push back on that?
Right.
Next up, section 3. Now this Mary's a little different. These are 5 tellers. Arbitrary, random. But I wanted the hump. So, yep, it's a tiny bit more competitive for them, but random and arbitrary. First teller of section 3. I believe he's worked out his audio issues. He may have had an audio or video issue, but let me find him and spotlight Dan Boyd. Where are you, Dan? There you are, bro. You're good.
I just want to say a bunch of familiar faces and a bunch of new people. Thank you so much for coming and spending an hour with us. Hopefully we're entertaining. Jenny bursts down the basement steps. Tiffany motherfucking Lacer, read this. I cannot date a boy who's bad at poetry. Tiffany unfolds this piece of paper and she hands it to me and says, Dan's the reader. I have a knot in my throat. I'm a pretentious 7th grader, but I'm not so pretentious that I read poetry, let alone criticize it. And I'm looking at it and it doesn't make sense to me. It rhymes in some places and not others. And I say, swallowing the knot. I read fantasy and sci-fi, but what I'll tell you about this is that this person did drafts. You can tell because you can see the indents and the crossing outs. And then after he figured out the words, he took out a clean sheet to write it perfect for you. And so if you're the sort of girl who wants a guy who takes time and puts his heart on paper, then maybe it doesn't matter if it's good or not. And she smiles and runs away, and Tiffany squints at me and she says, it sucked, didn't it?
Boom. Of course, you're never going to, yeah, thanks, Dad. Put your name up instead of the 80, but you were done anyway, so it worked out okay. Thanks, man. Dan Boyd resides also in Chicago, Mary.
Yes, Chicago.
You will notice a significant number of people from both Chicago and Massachusetts. We've talked about this from time to time. Why that is, don't have an answer.
No, they're just great at storytelling.
We're not sure why, are we?
Yeah, no.
In the chat, you will see comments directed primarily to the tellers.
Yes.
And I will put in there again, Mary, a link to the group if they want to learn more about things associated with this event or others.
Yes,
as well as a couple ways they can make a financial contribution.
that's right.
Right?
We don't require it, but you know.
Nah, you don't have to do it.
No.
But if you had an extra $400 or $500 lying around, boom, send it my way. Teller number 2, section 3. Here we go. Tracey. Let me find Tracey. We're gonna spotlight her. Tracey, are you also in Washington, right?
Yep, Seattle area.
Fantastic. You take your time. Break the leg.
One of my first jobs out of college was working on a trading desk in New York City in the go-go 80s. It was crazy fun. And it was this weird foreign land that had like separate rules and weird smells because it was mostly men, and language that you had to learn. For example, stocks actually had nicknames, and everybody used the F word really as frequently and as creatively as possible. And so my first day on the block desk, one of the head traders turned to me and said, "Mr. Safi, what the fuck, you fucking fuck face?" Which loosely translated as, "Hey, Tracey, do you know why Microsoft stock is down? Is it possibly the guy that made negative comments earlier?" And so that was my job. It was fantastic. And after I got good at it, I was invited over to the Morgan Stanley trading desk to audition. And basically you spend a week working on the desk to see if it's a good fit. And I already knew half the guys there. So I kicked off my shoes. We had this really rocking fun week and I was ready to go home with the job offer. So I go into the HR woman and she says, "You know, you need to know 2 things about Morgan Stanley. First of all, we do always wear shoes. Oh, and then also we never use profane language at Morgan Stanley." And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And she wasn't. And that was the sound of my job blowing up. Good news, if I had gotten that job, I would have been working on the 89th floor of the World Trade Center. Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tracey, in the Seattle area. Mary, we don't know the story of how Tracey went from New York to Seattle. Do you know why?
Because she hasn't told that story yet.
Correct, because she has not told that story yet.
Not yet.
She chose to tell one story, which I think is a very good idea, like all our tellers.
Actually, it was Texas to New York and New York to Seattle.
Uh-oh, Tracey, we didn't need to know the coda. No, you're good. So it was domestic gal. Everyone's got a 9/11 story, don't they, Mary?
Yeah.
Not everybody, but man, that's one of those seminal moments.
It's true. That's true.
All right, let us continue on. We've got 3 more tellers in this round. This is, by definition, the most challenging round or section or heat. And our next storyteller, who is literally smack dab in the middle of the middle, and up in New York, we're moving up to where Tracey spent some time, Jamie Brickhouse. Break a leg, Jamie B.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm with my older brother, Jeffrey, when he calls our older brother, Ronnie, to tell him that the cancer he's been fighting for the last year is going to kill him. And Ronnie says, "Man, I'm sorry to hear that. But you know what? You're fixing to get a promotion." Jeffrey looks at me and I say, "He means you're going to go to heaven." And Jeffrey says, "Ronnie, there is no heaven. There is no God. That is bullshit." And Ronnie says, "Man, if you believe that, then I feel sorry for you." Now, Ronnie is a Forrest Gump type who has a childlike idea of God and heaven. I think there's a higher power, but I don't know about heaven. 6 weeks later, I call Ronnie to tell him that Jeffrey has died. And I don't think Ronnie processes the news. I have processed Jeffrey's death, but it's his life I have a problem with because I feel like it was such a waste due to his untreated mental illness and addiction, which made it impossible for him to have a relationship with either Ronnie or me. The next day, Ronnie calls me and he's bawling his head off and he says, "Jamie, I've been at the chapel for the last 7 hours." I said, "Doing what?" "Praying my fucking brains out." And the way I see it, God has decided that Jeffrey's last year on earth was his hell. And he has taken him in and reprogrammed his brain so that he can join our mother and our father in heaven. And I can live with that. I can live with that. I said, Ronnie, so can I. Boom.
All right. Jamie Brickhouse is in New York City. He may still be out in the Hamptons or the Fire Island, but he's
Nope, I'm in New York City.
Back in the city. Back in the city. So in this section, Mary, we had Midwest, West, Pacific Northwest, and East.
Mm-hmm.
We are literally bouncing around up and down, side to side.
Yeah.
Got a lot of good stories.
Amazing stories.
Great stories.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough round.
They're all tough. They're all tough. And yeah, I mean, we don't want to say the same thing over and over again, but I do feel compelled to say, wow. Another great story. Another great story. So does it make for great TV? Probably not, but I'm just trying to be honest here.
No, because everybody's interested in the next story and where we're going and how it's happening. I'm telling you.
Next fourth of five in this particular section is up. Back bouncing south and west, live from Arizona, Mary Jo Pollack. Take your time, Mary Jo.
I'm 10 years old. My mom comes into my bedroom and she's decided this is the time to tell me the facts of life. She explains everything to me and at the end notes, do not discuss this with your friends. If you have any questions about sex, come to me because your friends don't know any more than you do. Okay, Mom. I'm in high school and I'm hanging out with a bunch of my girlfriends, and one is talking about that she let her boyfriend touch her breast. We're all a little surprised. I got home and asked my mom, is it okay if a boy touches your breast? No. Over the clothes? No. Oh, okay. When I'm in college, I'm commuting to the University of Minnesota and living at home. I'm upstairs in my bedroom studying away, and I can tell that it's time to go downstairs and help my mom with dinner, set the table. We're alone, and I ask her, what's oral sex? Where did you ever hear about that? I was reading about it in my psychology textbook. Well, don't believe everything you read. And that was the last time I asked her for sex advice. Boom, boom. Boom.
Thanks, Mary Jo. You think Mary Jo's trying to get an inside edge with the double boom?
With the double boom, yeah, I noticed.
You don't hear the double boom very often.
No.
She doesn't, and she won't do that. Yep. Every now and then, though, you bring out the big guns for the Grand Slam. Am I right?
I agree.
Boom boom won't help you, but hey, I try stuff. You never know.
You never know.
At the end of the day, I think we can all agree a great story is a great story.
That's it.
99 or otherwise, and we have a lot of them. And our final storyteller of this section, then we will do our summary and poll.
Yes.
Back to Chicago. This is what we call from in the New England area. We would call this a wicked hard group, a wicked group. It's wicked. Wicked hard. Steph, Story Jam Rodgers. Take your time, Steph.
Hey. It's Halloween 2001 and the doorbell rings and it's this little kid and he's got a big, huge smile and an afro. And he says, can you take me trick-or-treating? And I say, sure, but I'm wondering, where is his family? And he says his name is Sanchez, but everybody calls him Woody. And he's going to turn 5 in January. And I say, great, Woody, where's your mom? And he just goes, and so soon he starts showing up at our house and he starts calling our 1-year-old son his baby brother. And I'm just wondering, who are his parents? And soon he starts telling us more. He lives with his grandma, but she's mean, and he doesn't have a room of his own, and he doesn't have a bed of his own, so he sleeps on the couch. So we reach out to his grandma and we ask if he can stay in our guest room sometimes. And she says, I don't care. And soon I start to wonder where he is. I haven't seen him in a while. So I go to the school to check it out. And I see the principal and I say, hey, do you know where Woody is? How's Woody doing? And she says, I'm sorry, who are you? And I just blurt out, I'm his mom. And she believes me. And when he turns 15, his grandma tells me that she's turning him over to the state and she's going to give him up. And I say, please, just let him live with us. And she says, I don't care, you take him. And we do, but it's tough. It's a struggle. He's joined a gang and he's getting into trouble. And he actually ends up in juvie. 3 weeks ago on January 10th, Woody shows up at our door. And now he has graduated from college and he is turning 24 and he is here to celebrate with his family.
Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
I'm just not sure how to transition from storyteller to me without the boom.
I'm sorry.
No. You don't need to do the boom. I'm just so used to the boom. And then you got people double booming and boom, boom and banging and a couple people boinging.
Yeah, we have boing.
There's nothing wrong with a boing, and you don't have to say anything at all. You can sort of fade it out. It's a choice. All right. Nobody went over time, which is always great because I was going to make Mary do it.
I know.
Tell
so
him.
Thank you for not having that happen, y'all.
This is mathematically the most challenging section. Don't really want to apologize for that, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah. I also want to say this is a stunning number of fantastic stories. I do hope those people who haven't been able to make it here are able to watch on Facebook Live.
Yes.
Get that they can't vote. We'll tweak along the way. We'll make it better and better and better. Let's do our summaries, Mary.
Let's do it. So Dan helps someone realize that poetry isn't everything as far as love, even when it sucks. Tracey decided to stay with the trading desk where fuck was acceptable. Jamie worked with Ronnie, his brother, about Jeffrey's death, and he got promoted to heaven, so we found peace around that with God.
Yeah.
MJ decided not to ask her mother about the facts of life anymore after she got some not so great information. Yeah. And Steph loved a young boy named Woody who's now 24 and graduated from college after he had a rough upbringing.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just to make absolutely clear, section 3, Dan, Tracey, Jamie, Mary Jo, and Steph. We're going to save that. And real quick before I launch the poll, super thanks to our tellers and our audience. It's a great event. And I really am grateful that you're here, spending your Sunday here. You don't have to be here doing anything. You'd be Netflix and chilling. I don't know if it's Netflixing and chill or chilling. I don't know where you make it. I don't know what you do in that situation grammatically.
No, you just it's just Netflix and chill. I don't know.
Yeah, right. It's a tricky one.
I know.
So, but they're here, and they might be doing that at the same time. Fine. Okay. Let's launch this poll and give people a minute plus. Up to 98 people can vote. It's pretty exciting this moment, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Love it. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Interesting, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Remember, Mary.
Yes, darling.
Just reminded myself not to chew gum on camera. Nobody wants to see me chewing gum. It's Nicorette, but nobody cares.
No, but
nobody cares.
Everybody wants to support you in your quest to stay off of cigarettes.
Right. What about cocaine and heroin?
I think they're also supporting that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's give it another 15 seconds. What do you say?
I think so.
Yeah. Love these tellers. Love the event. Love your help. Love the audience. And you know I don't use the word love a lot. I mean, no, I don't.
You're feeling the love tonight after Netflix and chilling. Is that what it is?
Netflixing and chill.
Yeah. Ing. And love.
Okay. Let's end this poll. Okay. We're ending the poll. Dan, there's comments about my mouth, among other things. Fine.
Oh.
No, it's not about me. You want to make fun of me? That's fine. I could take it. Let me absorb everybody else's whatever they want to bring. Remember, Mary, we're going to have 5 winners who are going to go to the second round. After our 5th section, and we've done 3, we'll have a little break.
Yeah.
Announcements and so on.
Yeah, get ready with your promotions, y'all.
Mary and I are going to put 1 teller through each. I remember we said it was an optional thing, but we're going to put, there's just too much talent.
Yeah, there is.
There's going to be 7, 5 winners. Mary, you'll have a choice. I'll have a choice. Are we going to tell you? No. Who we chose? No, because
mystery is
you
amazing.
don't want to get that sort of.
That's right. Yeah.
Mystery, surprise.
Mystery, surprise, delight.
And we want to avoid people spitting any venom our way, right?
Yes. Yes.
Section 4, moving forward, we've got, I believe, if my math is right, 8 more tellers. Live from Las Vegas. His name is Richard. He came in just barely on time. It was my fault. I'm glad he did. Where are you, Richard?
Yeah, I'm right here.
When I find you, hang on. Where's Richard? The reason is I think my chatting is blocking this.
Oh, that could
be a weird situation. Hang on. Mary, can you find Richard?
I can find
Not
Richard.
your fault, Richard. It's my fault.
You want a spotlight for everyone? He is spotlighted.
That's
Got
what
it.
I needed you to do. Thank you, partner.
You're welcome, darling.
All right, Richard, whenever you're ready, ma'am.
Okay. I'm sorry, hold on just a
Take your
second.
time,
I
ma'am.
want to set my timer because I don't want to go over.
Correct. Take time.
I am in a beach house on stilts and the waves come in under the house. But this is not Malibu beach house, rich people. This is Manila, the Philippines, third world poverty beach house. And when I look out the window, I can't see the sand on the beach because day after day, year after year, the waves bring the trash in from Manila Bay and it piles up on the beach. There's no trash service here. No one comes around and picks up your garbage. And so the people here have given up. And now when they have trash, they just throw it out their window. It's 99 degrees and 100% humidity. My clothes are stuck to me and I'm miserable. I hate it here. I hate the city. I hate the weather. I hate the smell. And then I hear laughter out the window and I get up and I look out the window and there are a bunch of kids and they have fashioned a ball out of newspaper and trash and they are running around on the beach playing with this ball and laughing and giggling the way only kids can. And I think if these kids playing in garbage can find these little moments of joy, well, then maybe I can too. Boom.
Boom. Munchkin in Vegas. Not everybody in Vegas is a gambler, Mary.
Not everybody.
However, Richard is. Okay.
Some are. Some are.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a gambler to be in Vegas. In fact, that's a city that's growing quickly, I believe. Not everybody's a gambler.
No.
Starting strong, right? 3 sections done.
Boom.
Richard, first of section 4.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing. Can we just take a quick moment?
We can take it.
Nobody, I think, is okay with the damn COVID thing. It's been 10 months now. But every single person in here whose paths we've crossed or just about, we wouldn't have met them.
I know, without it.
We wouldn't have met any of the, I mean, there's a couple people I know from North Carolina, for example. But 90% of all these people, and we've learned and you learn so much about everyone in part through their stories.
Yeah, it's
so
fabulous.
it's like, I'm looking at this Zoom thing. I happen to see about 25 boxes. There's 100. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Damn.
I know where this person's from, and I know this story about them. It's pretty, it's intimacy through Zoom. It's strange.
I'd like to meet everyone, but I'm not sure I really want to. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I do. Like you do, but maybe leave it as it is. It's really good now. Next up, live from Brooklyn, Ronna Levy.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay. I'm 23. I'm working in a pizza joint, serving slices, ringing the register. Luther, my manager, he's like in his 50s and he's really cool and we work very well together. Don, the owner, he's this chubby guy with a goatee because he has no chin. And basically he just stays in the basement in his office all day. One morning, Luther says to me not to ring in $50. He says, serve the food, take the money, put it in the register, but don't ring it in. Keep a mental tally. When you hit 50, then you can start ringing it in. He says he needs money, and he says that Don, the owner, takes advantage of him. Well, if I don't ring it in, I mean, Luther might fire me, but if I do, if I get caught, I'm stealing and I'll get fired. But I figure I'll just do it this one time for Luther because I really like him. And then soon it's every day. And Luther varies the amount. And I actually kind of like the math challenge and I become really good at register robbery. But then one day, Luther just gives me a wad of bills. And I feel funny. I don't want to take it, but I think about what Luther said, how Don takes advantage of him, because I think about every morning when I go downstairs to get the supplies, Don walks out of his office. He comes up to me, he puts his hands around my waist and he pulls me in close and then he kisses me. I take the money. Boom.
Mm-hmm. All right. But good job, Ronna. Good job, everyone. Thanks, Richard and Ronna. There's people that are trying to come in, by the way, Mary. So, but we're at 100. It's an ongoing reminder that people are like, I feel like they're clawing to get in. And I'm like, no, get out.
They want to be part of the party. I understand why. It's a great
that too, man. And I'm not trying to play a game here. It is what it is. We're trying. Hey, we have about 35 people or so on Facebook Live as well. So that's great. So is it the same as a concert at Wembley? No, but it's pretty damn big.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that we can have a lot of storytellers with a lot of great stories and a lot of people who can hear those stories.
Exactly. From all over the world, y'all. All over.
Now remember, 7 of our storytellers are going to go to the second round and tell a second story.
That's right.
Everybody here has brought a second story.
Mm-hmm.
They all have to make the choice, Queen Mary, of which story do I use first.
Right.
I got to get into the second round, but then I want to.
Right. It's tough. It's strategy. It's definitely strategy.
All that work for 99 seconds. You know, all that work.
And they make it look easy. They all make it look easy.
It's like all that training for the Olympics, right? And that's like a 100-yard dash. Boom.
Boom.
I think I just covered my mic, so bad audio. Next up, live from Minneapolis area, Minnesota. Let me find her.
If I talk, you can probably see me faster.
Nope.
No?
I got her.
I know that trick, but it's not working. It's up there. You are.
Okay.
That's why I have Queen Mary helping me, because she can find you faster. Katie, whenever you're ready, take your time.
I sit down in a big armchair with an old book and page through it. I find a story called Talia, Sun, and Moon. It's an Italian version of Sleeping Beauty. And I dig into the pages, but things go differently very quickly. It's not a prince who wakes her up with a kiss, it's a king who sees her sleeping in a bed, in a cottage in the woods, breaks into the house, and then has his way with her while she's asleep. Wait, this isn't romantic. This is assault. This is not consent. I mean, granted, she didn't say no, but she definitely did not say yes. And suddenly I was transported back to a time when I was laying on a bed. And although I hadn't been drugged, I was frozen. And I couldn't say no. But I certainly didn't say yes. There was no consent. And suddenly this story was very real to me. I read, and every person in this story blamed that young woman for what had happened. And I realized that I'd been blaming myself for too many years for what had happened. It took a story, hundreds of years old, for me, like Sleeping Beauty, to finally wake up. Boom.
Thank you, Katie. All right. So thank you very much. So we had Richard in Vegas. We've got Ronna in Brooklyn, Katie in, I believe, Minneapolis. It's possible, thumbs up. I was going to say, Queen Mary, that she might have been in St. Paul. But that's not only incorrect, I think she'd get pissed. I don't know the rivalry. I don't know if there's a rivalry. Mary Jo can talk about this. I don't think you want to mix that up. I don't think you want to say Ronna, for example, lives in Queens. Why? She's in Brooklyn. That's why.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, she gave you the nod of like, no,
right?
she's in Queens, say she's in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Katie doesn't live in St. Paul. That's why. Next up, last storyteller, section 4. Here we go. Let's just stop saying how great the stories are and how all the sections are so competitive. It's just a given, right? It just is.
It just is. It is. Everybody rocks. Say it that way. They've joined us. They rock. Here we are.
Taking his glasses off.
Coming back to Mass.
Back in Massachusetts. Unmute yourself. And Andrew Shelffo. Yep, you're good.
You can hear me?
Yep.
My dad was a self-taught engineer who, over the course of his career, was awarded more than 3 dozen patents. As an engineer, he appreciated planning and order. So I never really understood why he would invite chaos into his life by having 6 children. He liked a good joke, grilled pork chops, his family, and he also liked playing golf. And I'm thinking about all of this as I'm standing on my tiptoes by a chain link fence as I'm holding a plastic bag containing his ashes over the fence so that I can distribute his ashes on his favorite golf course. It's the 1-year anniversary of his death, and my mom has decreed that his 4 sons have to carry out this duty. First thing we had to do was figure out where to do it, and I suggested the golf course, so we all went there. Then we started running into problems. The first problem was that it was January and the golf course was closed. Now, most golf courses you can find a way to get onto, but this golf course, my father's favorite golf course, was in the middle of Newark, New Jersey, not the best city. And they had a problem because people were getting held up at gunpoint. So they put a big fence around the perimeter of the golf course, which kept out the criminals, but made ash dispersal a problem. The second problem we ran into was that it was windy. No one said anything profound. No one said any prayers. We all just kind of silently cursed as the wind blew ashes into our face. And the other problem was that the ashes, there was a lot of them. And my arm was getting tired. So I pivoted and I said, all right, let's put the rest of the ashes over here in this pond and Mom can come and visit. And they all agreed. And then we drove home and we hoisted a Guinness to my dad who didn't even drink Guinness. He deserved better. We half-assed it. And that haunts me. Boom.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Andrew. Mary, so another example here. You don't, like Andrew's not from Boston. And so if you'd say Boston, that's the response you're going to get. Why? He's Western Mass.
Right.
St. Paul, Minneapolis, Brooklyn, Queens. They're not, don't just be loose about that shit.
No.
Nobody.
But Western Mass is like New York to us in Massachusetts. You're in another state if you're in Western Mass. We love you regardless. But...
Here we go. Okay. Everybody was at time or under.
Yes.
Again, what a great group. Can you hear me okay, Mary, with my mic over there?
I can hear you delightful, darling. You're fine. Yes.
Would you please, we're at 8:13. We're making pretty good time. I want to respect people's time. You're right. Let us summarize section 4 and vote and let us continue. Yes, whenever you're ready.
Sounds great. Richard found out that trash can be a treasure to kids that are playing out on the beach or somewhere out there in Manila.
Yep.
Ronna, she took the money because the manager of the pizza place was awful. Let's just say it that way. Katie was woken up from a slumber. 100-year-old story helped her to realize that things were not her faults. And also Andrew, while he distributed ashes, still feels like his heart wasn't fully fulfilled and taking care of his dad in the proper way.
Fantastic. Again, so you've heard the story, you've heard Mary's summary. I'm just using 1 or 2 words in addition to their name as just a little blurb or reminder. That is going to be launched in a moment. Mary, do you have any announcements? I feel like sometimes I'm hogging the mic. Do you have anything you want to say to anyone here before we launch this poll?
I'm just excited about who's gonna win this.
Yes. Yeah. Winners. And what do we call the people who don't win?
I don't think we should call them losers. We should
I
call them
agree.
great
I-
competitors,
Yeah.
fierce competitors.
Competitors, not losers. Nope. But not non-winners. That's annoying too.
No, let's not do that.
We got to find another word.
Participants, Mary Jo said participants, storytellers. I say great competitors.
We've got a lot of great competitors here and winners and both. Richard, Ronna, Katie, Andrew, section 4. Let's launch the poll. It's going to be flying in. We got up to 98 people. We'll give it about a minute.
Yes.
You never know. Someone might disappear into the, oh, it's close.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Everybody needs to vote because this is a really, really close one. Yep. We've got upwards of, and look, I mean, if it makes sense to you, Mary, if we are this close, we'll give it another 10, 15 seconds, right? Because someone might be in the bathroom or they might be doing something else and it makes a difference.
Yes, please vote.
Somebody told me to take the spotlight off of Andrew. I don't want to. I want to look at Andrew, and I think I want to make everyone else look at him.
Got it.
Did you do that for me?
I did.
Thank you.
Of course. That's what
We're
I'm
not
here for.
showing a lot. Andrew actually left the frame because he knew I was spotlighting his artwork back there.
I was going to say, his artwork.
That masterpiece.
That's right.
We've got upwards of, let's give it about 10 more seconds. If everyone votes, it can make a difference, but this one is coming to an end. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
5 more seconds, folks. 5. Count it down, and let's close this poll. All right. So we've got 4 winners, and you and I, Mary, are thinking about who we might put through.
Mm-hmm.
4 storytellers have been waiting and waiting and waiting. Yes.
Yes.
So I the whole night, just so you know, I know you haven't seen everything and you may not care. I am truly just, this hat is from Cusco because I know you're thinking about it, which is in Peru.
Yes. We don't lie about the Peruvian hat. That's not what happens here. We don't lie.
Nothing to do with this event, but it is from Peru.
Right.
There are names in the hat. And next up, we have another mass person. I believe that's what you call them, right?
Yeah. Other things you can call them. Yeah.
Massachusetts is Angela. Angela, break a leg.
Thanks. I'm sitting outside my favorite cafe. It's almost Day of the Dead, and trick-or-treating has come to Mexico. But the kids go from person to person in the square, and it lasts all week. So every time I leave my hotel room, I bring bags of candy and all the change I have. I see a little boy in a tiger costume walking through the square. He's swinging a plastic pumpkin, and he's singing to himself. And then I see the bigger boys. They surround him, a wolf pack, and I can see that he's scared. And then a boy on a bike grabs the costume and he rips the tail off the tiger and he takes off and he drops it on the ground. And while the bigger boys laugh, the little tiger walks over and he picks up his tail and I can see that he's crying. I see him a few days later. And I want to tell him that I saw what happened and that someday he'll forget all about it, but that isn't how it works. Because I can still remember Lisa Race making fun of my lip gloss in 4th grade, and I can still see the faces of the girls, Jen and Gail, who made fun of my blue satin Mary Janes on the bus. But maybe I can make it better. Maybe I can give him a different memory. And so I call him over and I give him all of the candy and all of the change that I have. And he smiles at me. And then he turns around and I see the threads that used to hold the little tail onto his costume. And as he walks away, I know that neither one of us is going to forget. Thank you.
Boom. Thank you, Angela. Mary,
Yes, darling.
before anyone yells at me to unspotlight Angela, is she unspotlighted?
She's unspotlighted.
Okay. Just saying. I can handle people getting upset with me.
I know that. I know that you're okay. You have a thick skin.
I play like I do. You know, after the event, it's not a pretty. It's never good. What do you call someone from Massachusetts?
Sometimes I get called massholes.
Oh my God, I wouldn't call Angela a masshole. I don't
Yeah,
even know.
no, that's what I
barely
said.
know her.
No, but that is a nickname for us. We're massholes.
That's like an inside joke.
I don't know. Some of us are real jerks.
But a mass mouth. That's the name of that company. I don't want to even talk about that. That's a whole company. Mass
Oh,
mouth is kind of funny though, but it's next up, North Carolina. Am I partial to North Carolina? Tiny bit. Cat Dean. Break a leg, Cat. Wait, Cat, unmute. You've got to unmute yourself. Take your time. If you can't do that, yep, you're good.
Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
All right, now I'm trying to get my timer started so that
Take
I
your
don't
time.
have to rely on you.
Sure, no one ever wants to rely on me.
No, I know you.
You know what happens when you rely on me.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Mary. I had to go there.
It's okay, babe.
I'm on my way home in rush hour traffic. I'm coming home from work, and I'm coming to a green light when a car runs her red light right in front of me and then stops because her traffic had stopped in front of her. And I have to come screeching to a halt. And then I watch as the driver slowly lifts her two middle fingers to me and smiles and mouths the words, "Fuck you."
Mm-hmm.
I feel my mind just pop inside. It's Albany, New York, summer of 1994. And this had been a terrible day at work, culminating with me discovering the mute button on my phone was not working. I discovered this after saying, "Damn, she's stupid," and hearing the caller say, "What?" I didn't get fired, but I did have to sit through a humiliating conference with my boss. "I'm sorry, Judy. I'll never do it again, Judy. I'm sorry, Judy." And now those two middle fingers in my face. I feel myself getting out of my car and screaming towards that car, "I'm going to kick her ass." I was so enraged. And she sees that and puts her car in reverse, backs up and goes off down the road where I had been going. And I walk back to my car kind of aware that I'd almost been one of those people you saw on the news. I gotta calm down. Well, the next day, somebody pulls her car right out in front of me, no apologies. And I'm just about to reflexively toot my horn when I think, what if she just discovered her mute button wasn't working? Cut a girl some break. We're good. Boom. Ish.
Say it. Good. Thank you, Kat. Say it. She said it. She said the word boom. I'm happy.
She said boomish. Boomish.
Boomish, boom, boom, boing. It's fine. You don't even have to say the word. A lot of love flying through the chat. What happens in the chat, at least the way I have it set up, I probably don't have it set the right way. Right? Comment after comment.
Comment after comment.
I love that not only is our audience here to be supportive in any number of different ways, but the other storytellers I notice here
Oh, yeah.
are also very supportive, even though it's a slam.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they want to win. Sure. But a lot of support among.
It's true.
We've got two storytellers left. And instead of me picking from the hat, what I'm going to ask Mary to do, and again, the colors mean nothing. It's just something I had fun with. Mary, green or yellow? Mary doesn't know the names at all. Green or yellow?
Green.
Green?
Green.
Okay.
What do we got?
Green is Johanne P. in Montreal.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, Johanne.
Hey.
How's the sound?
Perfect.
Thumbs up?
Wonderful.
I'm adjusting my timer.
Take your time.
After years of training as a boxer, I need a change of pace, more chill. I'm going to try hot yoga, and it's going really well, except I'm distracted in class by the sight of a massive cockroach on the floor. Boxing has never scared me, but bugs do, and that roach is messing with my zen. It's there in every class. No one else in the class seems to notice it. And I start to wonder, because I don't know the yoga world, is this some sort of Zen roach master? Nobody told me. Also, logically, I know that roach ain't alone. I speak to the owner like, hey, and she says, yeah, I just need to breathe and let it be. And I say, okay, but no, actually, I offer to kill the roach. I can work the hit into a yoga pose, subtle but effective. She says, no, no, please, namaste. That would send the wrong message. It's no use. It's my Zen or that roach. We can't coexist. That night in class, the roach approaches my mat. I reach for my yoga block while in downward dog, and I slam down. I leave the yoga block up, revealing the carcass of the dead roach. Change of pace? Yeah, I'm sending a message. Boom.
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 I don't know if you're watching.
I'm watching. Who are we talking to? Who's unmuting themselves? What this is like? What is this like it's a big party of people who just are? Don't you think, Mary? It should be that you and I are the co-host,
right?
I would love to have 100 co-hosts. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think it would be that really entertaining or interesting.
Or productive. I agree.
Right. It would just be all over the place. Thank you, Johanne, in Montreal. We have 2 countries here, Canada, the United States, several time zones. Love the time zones. And our final storyteller of round 1, I believe, also went last time. It's just a coincidence. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted her to know that, like, we're not picking on you here.
No.
I just worked out that way. Another Seattle person, Melissa Reaves. Let me spotlight you and break a leg.
It's 1992 and I'm sitting on a bench at the Gold's Gym in Santa Monica, California, and I am pumping iron. Rah! And I can hear all the stuntmen doing the same thing. Rah! And I love this gym. And my friend Smitty shows up and he's the size of a Kodiak bear and he sits down next to me and he says, wow, what a day, huh? Yeah, it was a good day. Wait, you heard right? What? The cops got off. What? What? Are you fucking kidding me? He's like, yeah, the whole city's burning. I am learning that Rodney King, a black man who got the shit kicked out of him by 4 white cops that was on videotape, just got off? What's happening? He's like, the city's burning. Where? South Central. I sell ads in South Central. I gotta go. And I drive home and I get to my apartment and my husband's like, oh my God, I thought you were dead. I thought you were pulled out of your car and beaten. Don and Marcia call. Look, you got to get home. You got to get up to our place, okay? It's getting dangerous where you are. And because we can escape, we do. And we get up to the Hollywood Hills and I can now step out onto their deck and I can see all of Los Angeles. And I can see the fire burning. I can see pockets of anger, of outrage, of hatefulness. I am so with it. How did this happen? How did our justice system just make that verdict? I just want to cry. Boom.
Boom. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you to 21 storytellers. Queen Mary, if Melissa's spotlighted, can you undo it? I'm losing my wits.
She's on spotlight.
Am I losing my wits here?
I don't think so. Did you have your wits?
What I've lost in wits, I make up for in dimples, don't you think? So, I don't know why Janine Scott's raising her hand. Just want to honor that. I'm not sure if she knows that she did that. If it's something super important, Janine, unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, we can get to it in the chat, maybe. That's okay. Janine's probably like, dude, leave me the fuck alone.
Maybe she's waving hi. You know?
Yeah. Some people don't like that I curse, Mary, but sometimes at some point in your life, you just have to be you.
It's true.
You gotta be you.
We have to.
All right.
You are, Sean.
Nobody went over time. Thanks. Mary, 4 summaries, 1 last poll, a break, and then our final second round. Hey, let's do this. We had Angela, right?
So Angela is our first one, and Angela was trying to help a young boy have a different memory of a bully and maybe was or was not successful. Kat learned that road rage can sometimes be because you have a bad day at work, and we've all had that experience of not having our mute button on at the wrong time. A roach did not fare well in hot yoga with Johanne in Canada. And Melissa recounted the story of the Rodney King verdict in LA after it happened.
Yep. All right. So again, Angela, Kat, Joanne, Melissa, rounding out what might be arguably the greatest single round of short storytelling, true, personal, in the history of the world that has ever seen. I'm going to go on record right now. You prove me wrong. You show me any video anywhere that has ever been done. Not, it's got to be in English because I don't speak other languages. Don't judge me in Montreal. That has ever been done.
No one's debating you, Sean. No one's
I'm going on the record right now saying it's the greatest collection of stories and storytellers in this genre the world has ever seen.
It's true.
Challenge me. Ready? Here we go. Final call. Challenge me.
Fight me, bro. No.
Launching final poll, then taking a break for peeing, replenishing, or whatever else. Go to it.
Vote, 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 vote. Do your vote.
Everybody, we've got, a lot of people are chiming in now.
Yeah.
All right. Tight. Of course it's close, right?
Of course. Of course. I like your descriptions. Your descriptions are always good, Sean.
I'm trying to keep them like 1 or 2 words.
Yes, they're always good.
And I studied how to do that. It's not something that just comes naturally to me. I had to learn.
Well, I would have never known.
How to take stories and then the summaries and put 1 or 2 words. Blurbs, I think they call it in the business.
Blurbs. It's a talent.
Well, thank you.
It is.
Hashtag I try. Okay, we're done.
We're done.
91 of 97. I do think we have enough for our final section.
I do too.
Queen Mary, before we take a little break, and we're not going to do anything fancy here. Grit isn't fancy. There's no music. What we do, though, and Mary, if you want to sing, fine. I hope that doesn't feel weird that I put you on the spot.
No.
But I'm just for a few minutes. We're going to be just loose.
Okay.
Go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom. Maybe you didn't want to know that. Okay. Well,
but you're just being honest, and I appreciate
being honest.
it.
And when we get back, and let's say 8:37 my time, it's 8:32 now. We don't want to rush anybody.
No.
We'll make our announcements of who's going through, and we hope everybody else can stick around.
Yeah, please.
Vote. And I think we'll be done at or around 9, which was the goal. Want to honor everybody's evening. And that's that. All right. 4+ minutes. Do whatever you want.
Oh boy. Within reason. There they all go.
Within reason. Like that doesn't include Zoom bombing.
Right. Oh no. No.
Look at our storytellers. They're all like, oh no.
Yes.
All right, Mary, we got to decide also on something. So I'm going to message you.
Yes, message me, love. Okay, Netflix and chill. There you go. There you go. No quick Netflix and chill. That would be awkward, I think. That's one of the things that's not within reason, you know? Do 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 do. What is everybody doing? Surfing Facebook? Telling their friends they competed? Oh, thank you. You guys are so kind. Dan, come on. Are you on? Do you want to come on and tell us instead of just putting it in the chat?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you terrifically.
My thing is, what I'm gonna say is tomorrow is workshop, and I will get a link for that. And I and a group of friends will be teaching a class. We're going to work on story generation, and we're going to talk about Matthew Dick's Homework for Life. We've all been doing it for 30 days, and we're going to talk about our experience.
That's fabulous. I always start that and stop it. Like I get a run of it and then I stop. It's not good.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big part of the discussion of like, what are the barriers? Like, why is it so hard to do? And I've got some answers, and I'm hoping the other people do too.
All right, so it'd be worth our while, whether you're a veteran or a beginner, to come to
Workshop. I've been there. It's good, man. It's really good. Dan's also a good human being, which I think matters.
Oh, that also helps. Yeah.
Relax, Dan. Okay. I also want to say, for the tellers, just for the sake to respect the clock, we'll give you the space for sure to make any announcements. You want to jump on real quick now, that's cool, but you'll certainly have plenty of time just after the winner's announced, like the winner, okay? Either way is fine. I know everyone's involved in a lot on the producing shows, telling stories, teaching, and so on. So, yeah, I mean, how could they not be? I mean, this is like the elite. This is the creme de la creme.
It's true. It's true. But we've even had folks that are like super experienced and beginners. I mean, it kind of ranges in experience here. So it's really cool.
Listen, Mary.
I'm listening. Creme de la creme?
De la creme.
De la creme. Yes, it's true.
Full stop. Full stop.
Full stop.
We have got about a minute before we sort of reconvene.
You're keeping time so well, Sean.
Thank you. I am probably going, this would be a good time to announce any hair products that I'm pushing.
Are you pushing hair products?
Promoting hair products might be a good time. Spokesperson for that. And
okay.
Yeah, my new book. There's no book.
No, there's no book right now.
If there were a book, I'd probably talk about my book right now.
Yes, you would. This would be the space to do that, Sean. But listen, we had a question about whether we're going to continue with these story slams. Now, I went ahead and said yes. Maybe I shouldn't have, but I'm thinking.
Oh, no. Are we going to continue with the slams?
Yes, I said yes. I figured I was okay to answer that question.
I thought the question might have been, are you expecting your slams to be a complete and absolute revolution, reforming and changing the way we see story indefinitely moving forward? That would be a definite yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
next slam, I'll make these announcements. There's only so much I can say. We are trying to do the slams about every 3 weeks. We're playing with the time.
Mm-hmm.
Too soon is just too soon. And
too soon.
So I've already got one set up. And the one difference of this slam or the series of slams that I'm playing with Mary, one big difference. I might do a theme.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about that last time.
I might do a theme.
Yeah.
It's got to be a broad theme because remember, we typically have 3 to 4 slams and then a grand slam. So we'll see. I will ask anybody, and it might be better to do this after we're done, in about 22 minutes. That would be a good time to shoot over some thoughts or ideas on a theme.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I got one more message that I want to send you, Mary, to make sure we're on the same page.
You got it, love.
And then we will announce and we'll move forward. But I'm not rushing here. I mean, people are just hanging out. They're multitasking, probably.
They are.
They are doing what they do.
So, Barbara, to participate, you got to talk to Sean.
Yep. The theme, Richard, is you. I'm going to make Richard Munchkin the theme of the whole season.
Vegas, baby. Vegas.
If you guys don't have a story about Richard Munchkin, you can't do the slam for the next few months. He's the theme.
Oh.
We'll figure out a great theme. Don't worry. It'll be broad-ish.
Yeah.
I was thinking of doing it, fuck you, that's why. That's a little bit Sean-ish.
It is. It is kind of revolving around you, Sean, which it should, maybe.
No, absolutely disagree with you. I don't think it should. I want to say, I'm gonna make the announcements here. We've got 5 winners. I put one person through. You did.
Yeah.
Just a moment of truth. Nobody wants to necessarily hear it. This is not my favorite moment.
Why not?
I don't want everyone to win. Like, I'm
course.
not saying that. I just have been there. Not like a super. Shut the fuck up, Dan. Dan, don't you watch your caps, bro. I got an extra 30 seconds. I'm gonna milk it. All right, let's do the announcements in no particular order. And I really do hope you all stay on and vote.
Yes.
Here we go. What happens if the person's not here right now? Should we bounce them?
They'll be here.
All right. No order, truly no order. One of our finalists, her name is Katie. She lives in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Another of our next one is a man named Walt. He lives in Florida.
Yes.
There is another human being resides in Chicago. Her name is Steph.
Yes.
There is another woman who lives not in Queens. Her name is Ronna.
Yeah.
There is a woman who lives north of the border. Her name is Johanne. There is a woman. Is that okay? It's 2021. I can say woman. That's still okay, right?
As long as they identify that way.
As a white man, right. Shit. See, I'm gonna milk this moment for a moment here. A couple moments actually, because there's 2 people that are like, say the fuck. We've got someone out west. Her name is Johanna Walker. And our final one, he lives in New York. His name is Jamie. Those are your 7. Let's move on.
Yes.
Let us move on to our final round. And I am looking around at the faces of the people that didn't go through, and I'm wondering, hey, tough choices, right?
Tough choice. I mean, and some of them were so close.
Yeah. Very close. There were all but one poll was super close.
Yeah.
We don't have to go like detail into everything.
No,
And
I'm not gonna.
And our choices were hard, but you know what? I feel good about it.
There
will always be difficult choices to make. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these 7 names. They're going to go back in the hat. And by the way, just because I have this hat from Peru doesn't mean I don't have another hat from Peru. I just have chosen to use the white one.
You haven't broken out the other hat from Peru?
Right. Maybe that's season 3.
I was going to say season 3. It better be here.
Season 3, different color hat. The theme is Richard Munchkin.
Is that broad enough? I mean, I don't know.
Let's just make sure our 7 finalists are here. Don't worry if you're not, and your name is called. We'll come back to you. It's all good. All right, are we back? Let's take a big breath. We're back, right? All right.
Yes.
Final round. 7 tellers at the end. Mary summarizes. If you went over time, it's the same deal. You don't go through. You're not going to be. There's no option to vote for you. Then we vote, we crown a champion, and then we unmute ourselves and we call it a night, and we are just grateful and happy. Number 1, live from not Queens, New York, Ronna Levy.
Thanks. I think I went first last time in the slam.
Ooh.
Right? Okay. I'm working in a Hallmark card store. I'm 21. This is my very first job in New York City. And at night, I take an acting class because I've always wanted to just live in a TV show, right? I've always just wanted to have a different life and be someone else. Like at the card store, I pretend that I'm a writer and I rewrite those dopey Hallmark cards like, get well soon, or don't, what the fuck do I care? Or congratulations on your new job. Does HR know about your ankle monitor? I just have to be someone else. And then I meet my neighbor across the hall. He's this skinny, bald guy who chain smokes. He drinks Coca-Cola. He wears dark sunglasses all day long. And he goes by the name of Smokey Mims. And he writes pleasure books like All Day Sucker, Tongue in Cheeks, Lickety Split. And he offers me a job. He talks into a tape recorder and I just type up what he says. I mean, it's easy. And then he asks me if I want to write a book. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I know the formula, right? It's just ripe melons and stiff rods on page 1. And then on page 2, you have a stewardess going into the cockpit. I go from Hallmark, all hearts and holding flowers, to pleasure, all hard-ons and golden showers. Boom.
You see what she did there, Mary? That was called a delayed boom.
It was a delayed boom. Yes. A good weapon there. It's good.
Yeah. What I should do for next time, noted, is a few people, naturally, there's going to be a few people that leave. Next time, and I'm not going to do it now. Next time, what I'll do is anybody on Facebook Live, we'll let them know, hey, there's five spots, hop in. But we got to do that before they start telling.
Right.
Because, the only way for them to vote is for them to hear all the tellers.
Stories, yeah.
Right? To be fair. We still have 96 people here. So fantastic. Thanks for everyone for sticking it out, hanging out, enjoying. If I gave you 28 guesses as to exactly what my smoothie was made of today, you couldn't do it.
No.
Nope.
Is there booze in it?
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, so I definitely couldn't guess.
There's like 4 fruits and
4 fruits.
And you couldn't do it. The likelihood is very low. Next teller.
Just so you know, in the chat, people are guessing.
Yeah. Avocado. Nope. There's 4 fruits. The likelihood of you getting it is probably Richard Munchkin. Listen, 1,000 to 1.
Ooh.
Johanna Walker. That's an A. We got to make sure we get the right Johanna. Let me find you, Johanna, in the Pacific Northwest.
No,
we are on a Grand Slam second round here, folks. Johanna, take your time.
It's actually Johanna, just to be clear.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Johanna.
I'm standing in front of an empty parking spot where my car used to be parked. I look up and I see the sign and it says, "Parking for members only. Violators will be towed." So I go to the tow company. They don't have my car. They say, yeah, some kids probably took it for a joyride. You'll probably turn up one day soon. I file a police report and then stagger home. I stagger home because not only have I lost my trusty, rusty 89 Honda Civic, but I have lost all the precious things that were inside it. I had just gotten new wipers too. So I'm staggering home, heaving with grief, just heaving with grief. I can't believe I've lost my car. When I get home, I'm pacing around the house. I don't know what to do with myself, but there's a moment in the day when I realize I'm not the only person who's ever lost something. People have lost so much more, and all I lost was a car and a few precious things. And suddenly I feel myself connected to the wondrous, glorious web of humanity, and I feel one with anybody who's ever lost anything, and I feel elated. I lost my car, and I'm expanding into this wondrous epiphany when my housemate Maggie comes home and she says, "Joey, I found your car." And I was like, "Oh my God, where'd you find it?" And she says, "In the parking lot, right where you left it." So we go down to the parking lot and there's my car, and I say, "But I parked it over there. I'm sure I parked it over there." And she says, no, you parked it here." So I lost my car, but I found the other side of the parking lot. Boom.
All right. Just to be clear, Johanna. I don't want to look. Nobody wants me or anybody else to mispronounce their name, right?
No.
This is a bad time to ask people for money, right?
I don't think it's a bad time.
Give me money. Is that a little too abrupt?
You gotta tell them how. If you just say give you,
I'm just playing. Hey,
screen.
If people want to give contribute, and it really does go to production costs, podcasts, other things, food, avocados. Yeah, couple different links. I ain't getting rich, but I would love it. So if you enjoyed it, help us out a little bit. Venmo or PayPal's fine. I'm gonna put it in the link again. Sometimes people need to be reminded gently. Sometimes they can't find it in the chat because a lot of people are chatting about a lot of things, and that's great. So I'm going to put it again here. Probably 1 or 2 more times before the night's over. Let's move on to storyteller number 3. Coming from the white hat with blue stripes and a black horizontal thing.
Sean, where's that from?
You don't know where the hat's from?
Yeah, we don't know where your hat's from.
You don't know? Okay, there's a really good story there. I should tell you about it sometime.
Yeah, you should.
Steph,
Well,
are you with us?
Steph's got a story.
I don't know if she's here.
I'm right here.
There she is. Can you find?
I'm gonna spotlight you. Yep, take your
There you
time,
go.
Steph. You're good.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Oh man. So I'm chopping an onion and I'm super stressed. I'm worrying about my marriage. I just don't get how two people who love each other so much can not get along anymore. And I'm thinking, what if we split up? Where am I going to live? What am I going to do for insurance? What about our son? And I'm chopping this onion and the knife slips and something really bad has happened. I can feel it. It feels different than a usual cut. And I see the blood starting to flow. And so I grab a towel and I throw it over my hand. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it takes like 8 minutes to get to the hospital. What do? Do I call 911 or do I get in the car? So I get in the car and I'm sort of in a panic, but I'm trying to hold it all together. And I'm watching the blood soak through the towel. And now the fucking car won't start. And I'm thinking, oh my God, hold it together. I'm sort of in a frenzy, but I'm trying to stay cool. And I keep trying to start the car. And that's when I see him, my husband. He pulls up behind me and I get out of the car and I go to him and I just lose it in a flurry, in a tornado of emotion. And we get to the hospital and the doctor says, where is your fingertip? And I say, I don't know, but I am a musician and I need all of my fingers. So my husband races home and he brings the fingertip back. It takes about 15 minutes and that's too late. They can't sew it back on. And the doctor says, okay, I'm really sorry, but it's going to grow back. It may not be the same. And I'm wondering if we're talking about my finger or my marriage. That was 3 years ago, and both are a little battered, but they're better. Boom.
Boom. Job, Steph. Boom is never required. You don't have to say boom. There's no penalty.
No.
I don't think there's a penalty for not saying boom. I could be wrong. Queen Mary have made a executive decision from Massachusetts.
I would say there is not anything that would be disqualifying or hurting you if you don't say boom. We just enjoy it.
I love it.
Yeah, that's
It's
really what
way
it's
more
about.
than enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love it. All right. Storytelling number 4 of 7.
My goodness. This is
Queen
fast.
Mary. So far, we've had Ronna, Johanna,
Yes.
Steph, Johanna.
Johanna.
And our 4th is Katie.
Katie.
Who's going to tell me, I just listened to her. I'll be able to find her, but yet I can never find her.
I'm here.
Yeah, and it's not, yep.
Doesn't do it any good. Sorry.
I know, right? All right, you're good. Take your time, Katie.
I'm sitting at the table across from my husband on our honeymoon in Italy. The waiter brings me a bowl of 3 pumpkin raviolis, and I slice into them. This is the first time I have eaten wheat in 2 years. The pumpkin and wheat and spices mesh together in my mouth, and it is heaven. You see, everybody has told me that the wheat in Europe is different than the wheat in America. So if you have allergies here in the US, it won't matter because it's different there. And so I was feasting. Bread for breakfast, pasta whenever I could, big chunks of juicy chocolate cake. For about a week. And then we were in the south of France. I was covered in a full body rash. I had a sinus infection and a throat so sore that I could barely talk. And instead of going on adventures, the two of us together, my husband adventured alone to pharmacies, asking in a language that he had never studied for medication that would help my nose and my throat and my skin, and trying to communicate all the allergies that I have. On the way home, I looked at my husband and I realized that, yeah, I may not have made great food choices on our vacation, but I made the right choice in a partner. Boom.
Nice. Okay. Thank you, Katie. Mary, why am I so obsessed with locations? Why is that? Do you know?
I kind of like it though, because then we
What?
figure out where everybody's from. It's
Always
delightful.
want to know where people are and why I can't find a partner. Did I just think that or did I say it out loud?
I think you said it out loud.
Did I say that out loud?
You did.
That I couldn't find a partner and it's affecting me?
Yeah, but that's okay. You're vulnerable right now. We're getting close to the end.
It's
You're
like a
putting it all
faux,
out there.
it's a faux vulnerable, really. It's a little faux. All right, here we go. 5 of 7. Let's roll it. We'll pick a winner or the audience will.
Yes.
Got 93 people, 7 people left. Find them, bring them to me.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Live from New York City, Jamie.
Jamie.
I don't know, have a nickname for him, Brickhouse.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The night before my Texas tornado of a mother, Mama Jean, shipped me off to rehab, she glared at me and she said, after that suicide attempt, your drinking days are over. So 3 years later, it broke my heart that that woman had been hijacked by Lewy body dementia. She was having wild hallucinations and believing that her worst fears were coming true. And the first time I went to see her after it all went haywire, I don't even know if she knew me. And at one point I turned away from her, trying to erase what I had just seen, a mad woman in my mother's body, when she grabbed my arm in a vice grip. You've been drinking. No, I haven't. Don't lie to me. I'm not. I wasn't. Because at that time I was 7 months sober and I was struggling to finally get a year. I had been relapsing ever since rehab, which I never told her that. So how could she know? You better not be lying. Remember, Mama? That's all behind us. You took care of that. You don't have to worry. And I thought to myself, who would blame me if I drank over my mother losing her mind? But there was another way to look at it. If you can't stay sober for yourself, do it for her. I turned and I looked her in the eye and I said, you don't have to worry anymore. Okay, but promise me. Promise. I promise. 5 months later, she died, and I finally got a year. And to this day, I've kept my promise. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jamie. See, remember earlier, Queen Mary, when I was talking about people wearing robes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Jamie's wearing a robe, but he could be. And that's what I was talking about. Wear a robe, relax, put some slippers on. Sorry, Jamie.
It's Chinese pajamas. It's just
Sure.
the top.
And we don't need to know about if you're wearing slippers. I get visuals on people. I like locations.
Yeah.
I want the storytellers to be able to plug their stuff, but we're going to do that after.
Absolutely.
I do hope people hang out so that they can hear that. And of course, and perhaps I should have said this earlier, put stuff in the chat. Put links to your stuff in the chat. I don't know if a lot of people are going to really take it. You know, they're going to follow your link right now in the middle of like maybe the greatest display of short form personal narrative talent the world has ever seen. I'm not embellishing here, Mary.
I don't think you are at all.
I really don't. I will put this up against anyone, anywhere. And it's not even me. It's not like I'm their agent. No. I'm truly a middleman.
You know what? You're a gatherer of people and storytellers. And I think that's very important.
I should let people know. Thank you. I should let people know that if there is a tie, one, I'm going to let the 7 people who left know that they made a difference, and I'm disappointed with them. 2, we'll have a runoff.
Okay.
There will not be co-champions unless there's after a runoff a tie, and then we'll just have co-champions. Okay. Got 2 tellers left. Briane Yellow. What did you do last time? Mary Jo, can you hear me? Mary, can you hear me?
I can hear you, honey. Yes.
Yellow or green? Do you remember which one you chose last time?
I chose green last time, so it's yellow this time.
All right.
All right.
Walt in Florida, 6 of 7. Walt, let me just spotlight you first. Take your time, sir.
All right. Ready? When my father went off to World War II, he carried a photograph of my mother, a snapshot. She was about 25 in the picture, and he kept it in his breast pocket, probably close to his heart. And he looked at it many times when he was over there. And after the fighting was over, my father, Sergeant Belcher, was put in charge of some German prisoners of war, and they were rebuilding bridges in France. And there was this one soldier. He was a young kid, and he was a German, and he was surly, and he snickered and looked at my father, and they didn't get along. He thought my father was too short and too young to be in charge of these men, and my father was rough on him, and he the kid saw my father looking at this picture, and he begged for some colored pencils and a piece of paper, and he took it and he drew a picture of my mother from that snapshot. And in the picture, her hair is windblown, and her lips are ruby red, and her blue eyes, they seem to come to life in this picture. And my father fell in love with that picture, and he and the soldier bonded, and my father brought that picture home. And today that picture hangs in my hallway. And it's a reminder of my mother because I don't have very many pictures of her. She died when I was only 10 years old. And I don't remember much about her except there was a lot of suffering. She had cancer and she wasted away, and there was pain, and she was not the person in that picture. But that picture, she's forever young. She's forever beautiful. She's forever smiling. And that picture erases all the bad memories that I have of her. Boom.
Thank you, Walt. Mary, Queen Mary, we are at our final storyteller. We've had 21 total, and this will be our 28th, I believe, story.
Yeah.
We have done this in less than 2 hours. We started at 7:11. Remember,
Yeah.
you said that. It's now 9:01.
It's 9:01.
Johanne P. in Montreal will be our final teller.
All right.
Assuming she is not over time, we will do summaries, and everybody will be in that final round vote.
Sounds great.
And then I'm going to give you should really say the winner. I like when you do it.
All right. That works for me.
I don't need to do this, but I enjoy it. Johanne P. in Montreal. Break a leg.
Sound. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
It's really cold outside the waiting room. I'm scared, and I'm next. The surgeon comes to my bedside and he says, "Get up. You're going to walk into the operating room with me." And when I'm in there, he introduces me to the whole team, the anesthetist, the nurses, the resident. He says, "We have the science. We're the best team possible." And I say, "Oh, okay, thank you. This is great, except I'm really still scared because now that I see everything in the operating room, I'm even more terrified." They install me onto the table and they push my neck all the way up. I have an aggressive thyroid cancer. The surgeon has been telling me for months, the science and the data say that I'm going to survive. It's going to be fine. And sure, the logic is terrific and I believe it, but the science isn't making me calm and the anesthetic isn't coming fast enough. And my eyes are darting around the room like crazy. And then what catches my eye? It's a nurse hovering over my head. Our eyes meet. She puts her hand gently on my forehead. She lowers her mask. She says, "Breathe. It's going to be okay." I breathe. I wake up hours later. The science, the data, the surgeon, they were right. I'm grateful. I'm fine. My God, that moment, though, it was the human touch. The nurse, it made a difference. Boom.
Mm. I was just about to say I've not really made one real tech gaffe this evening, and then I tried to talk when I was muted myself. But that's a small gaffe.
It's small. That is small. I agree. You didn't log yourself off or do anything crazy like that.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So we're good on time.
Yay!
Now we've got 7 summaries. Again, I will let our audience here know we still have 95. That means 93 people can vote. You are voting for your favorite story. And I say story more than storyteller. Like, you don't have to like somebody to vote for them.
That's
Probably
true.
helps. Favorite story and true, personal, no notes. That's the deal we've all made, right?
That is.
We had 7 in our finals. Can you do your summary? I'll do my little blurbing and the poll, and we will launch it.
Sounds great. So Ronna by day worked at Hallmark, but at night she worked with Smoky Mims writing some smutty things. Johanna found the other side of the parking lot when she thought her car was lost or stolen, but it was just in the other place. Steph cut her hands and it grew back just like her marriage grew stronger. Katie may have made some poor choices in food while she was in Europe on her honeymoon, but she didn't make a poor choice in a husband. And Jamie made a promise to his mother that he is still to this day kept. Walt has a beautiful picture of his mother that was drawn for him that his father brought home, and he remembers the good times with her, even though he doesn't remember a lot. She looks beautiful in it. And Johanne said that the human touch of the nurse helped her realize that she was going to be just fine.
Fantastic. So again, Ronna, Johanna, Steph, Katie, Jamie, Walt, and Joanne.
Yes.
In addition to all the other sublime, stellar, outstanding storytellers and their stories this evening. And by the way, dozens of other storytellers, right, who didn't make the Grand Slam but are awesome.
Yeah.
Like many a storyteller in the other slams are really freaking good. And hey, even if they're not really good, I mean, just they're involved. And that's what's great. But not everyone's amazing, right? Or amazing loses a bit of its, like it stops meaning something. But there is a lot of talent, a lot of great participation, and a lot of support. By the way, I appreciate you saying what you said about my ability to blurb things, create blurbs. But you're very good at summarizing too. In addition to being a co-host. So thank you so much for that.
It's an honor. So congratulations to all the mediocre participants. Listen, there's no mediocre participants here.
Elena Beth, I would say, given it's a Grand Slam, that everyone here has got some mad talent. I'm simply saying that because I want to be very inclusive with the other slams. Yeah, sometimes some people are a little stronger than others. They'll get better.
That's all. They're here. They're doing it.
It's amazing. Nobody says anything, and I say one tiny thing that might be a little bit like, and they freak out.
It's true. Head is the tree that wears the crown, Sean.
What do people remember? Here we go.
Right.
Your Grand Slam number 2 champ is, and I'm going to launch this poll. 92 people.
It's moments away.
Please vote. 92 people. Please vote.
Vote, 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 vote. Vote for yourself if you're in this, y'all.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. We are, it looks like a 2-person race. We have 82 of 92.
Yeah, 83.
We have been said that we would go for a minute. I think that's sort of what I don't know really where that came from, but I just feel like I should.
It works. It works. Just in case someone's running back.
Like it's good. I think we're going to give it. All right, we'll go for another 15 seconds. It looks like somebody's pulling ahead and is going to be the winner, but you don't know for sure. Queen Mary, do we do and your runner up is, have we ever done that?
We have not done that.
3rd place, 2nd place.
Yeah.
Sean, Jennifer didn't get the poll.
It won't make a difference. But thank you. Yep. That's weird. All right. Real quick, before we announce any winners or I go off on any other weird tangents, please let us know if you didn't get the poll. That I want to. It says 86 of 91, so there might be 1 or 2, for reasons I don't know, didn't get it. But the person who is in the lead now is in the lead by about 9 votes, so I think we can close it. All right, we will just, Mary, announce the winner. But if people want to know a little more and the storytellers want to hear it in the little post Q&A opportunity to talk to the storytellers, ask Mary questions about her life, because I'm sure people are very curious.
About my life?
Definitely. Plug stuff of their own.
Yes.
Then we will. I did say, so massive thanks to everyone. It's 9:09, which means I've been at it for 1 hour and 58 minutes. And when you want to, Mary, anything
sir.
you want to share, and then please, we're on the same page. We're very clear on the poll and who won.
Yeah.
You saw that?
I do see it.
Okay.
All right. So.
Wait, Richard, hang on.
Okay.
Richard is giving a math thing. And when Richard does that, part of me wants to make him not the theme for season 3. Because I'm bothered. Richard, do I need to actually know something here?
See quickly how quickly it falls.
I just want to make sure. I want to make sure that we have everybody. Tellers, if you have stuff to plug, just stick around. Richard, it won't make a difference. Oh, Rich. Okay.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, Richard. I was on. We started the actual thing at 7-Eleven.
Yes.
It's now 9:10. I know people were let in before then. First name was picked out of the proving hat about 2 hours ago. 2 hours later, Queen Mary, can you announce our champion when you want?
Yes. From the Great White North, Johanne Pelletier, darling. Congratulations. You're our winner.
All right, Johanne P.
Okay, wow. Thank you, everyone.
Johanne P. Great freaking job.
What the hell? Wow.
What the hell? Who knew? Our finalists, second rounders, Walt, Katie, Steph, Johanna, Jamie, and Ronna. Thank you. All our other storytellers. You know what, Mary?
Yes.
I'm going to say their names.
Okay.
These names include Michael in Texas, Brian in somewhere in Canada, and Jeff in Chicago, and Erin in Toronto, MJ in Tucson, Dan in Chicago, Tracey, I think, in Seattle area, Richard in Vegas, Andrew in Western Mass, Zach in Mass somewhere, Jeremy in Kent, Washington, that is. A lot of people think there's a Kent. When I say that, they think Kent, Uruguay, or Kent, Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia is not even a country anymore. Kat in the Triangle, North Carolina, Angela in Mass, Melissa in the Pacific Northwest in Seattle. We fucking love you. You did great. Thank you. Our champion for Grand Slam number 2 is Johanne P.
Yay.
Good night. God bless. Send money, unmute yourselves, and let us talk.
All right.